Bro, don't get me wrong, alright? It's not that I'm not, like, everyone's got to get paid. You know, everyone's got to make money. But I believe if you chase Undisputed, the money's going to come. You know, like, you see these guys that get the world title, and then once they get the world title, it's like their bargaining chip. You know, they're like, well, if you want to fight me, you got to pay this much. Why are you trying to sell yourself out? You know what I mean? It's because they don't believe they don't know how long they're going to hold that belt for. I told them, Undisputed. We wanted unification points. You know, I don't want to be jumping to conclusion, giving everyone hope. Like, bro, we're chasing Undisputed first. Once that comes, then we'll talk about heavyweight. You know, it's respect, but at the same time, bro, I feel like it's an awesome fight. And I told him too. I said, "Fuck, bro, me and you, man, we'll light this place up." So it'll be and he's excited for it. So. And
suddenly, in a total contradiction, they're allowing Jai Obatai to fight for all the other belts, to fulfill his dream of becoming undisputed, which is what every fighter wants. Look at me here, I have 16 belts.
Kind of a big deal.
Right now, I will tell him, you know, your time will come. You know, you don't have the experience that David has, you know. Let's work harder, let's keep going, you know. David will stop you right now, you know. I'm not saying that he's a bad fighter. He's a really, really good fighter. But experience, bro. You know, we've seen him get his jaw broken. Every fight he fights, he gets hurt. On the last fight he fought, it was a boring fight. He couldn't even deal with somebody that was putting pressure without punches.
But honestly, I don't think this deep into it. Just fucking put us in the ring and who's better. Right. You know, what the fuck is this, all this and that, bro.
So basically,
who's better? Let's find out go up. Who is better.
Let me ask you something, and I tell everybody, I go by this. Does he have a good jab? Does he have a good body shot? Does he have a good uppercut? Does he have good defense? Does he have flurries? What is it that he...
For Jai Opetaia, the motivation goes far beyond money. This is about cementing his place among the elite by facing David Benavidez in a matchup capable of shaping his entire career legacy. Sending a strong message about his mindset, Jai made it clear that he wants Benavidez next, staying fully committed to proving he belongs at the top instead of focusing on the biggest financial reward.
See these guys that get the world title, and then once they get the world title, it's like their bargaining chip. You know, they're like, well, if you want to fight me, you got to pay this much. Why are you trying to sell yourself? You know what I mean? It's because they don't believe they don't know how long they're going to hold that belt for. You know, they think it's a short thing. They got to make this money in this short window with me, but I believe I'm the best. You know, I believe that if I just keep winning, the money's going to come anyway. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm not chasing money. It's just I'm not chasing a quick payday to then, like, I'm not chasing a retirement payday. You know what I mean? I got some life left in me. Like, I'm ready to go. So, you know, I'm in the midst of the peak of my career. So, let's get it on.
At the same time, Jai believes Benavidez has been steering away from the matchup, saying that each effort to finalize the fight has only resulted in more excuses coming from the opposing camp.
And that fight's easy to make on our side, you know what I mean? I've been ready, I've been, you know, I'll just hear excuses and you know, and this and that, you know, Buzz, reach out. How bad do you want to fight? How bad do you want to be undisputed cruiserweight? That's an easy fight to make. Yeah. You know, there's all these little excuses and stuff, but it is what it is, man. Yeah, I think he's going to take a different path, and I think he's going to take a smarter path.
Regarding Benz, claims he is prepared at any moment for the bout to happen, yet argues Jai should travel to him, saying he has no desire to compete for a Zuffa championship.
I think that's the biggest fight in the world, especially at this weight division, you know, and that's definitely a fight I want. Like I said, I'm not scared of nobody. This is Monstro's world, and if he wants to get that fight, we get that fight. I don't know why he went to Zuffa. We could have made this fight right after this one. You know, but now I don't know if he got stripped by the IBF or what it is. You know, I'm not gonna go over there and fight for a Zuffa title, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that would be a great fight to make in the future. And I mean, I respect Jai Opetaia a lot. He's a great fighter, and I think he has to come back over here to make these fights happen because, you know, we can't make no fights in it.
Responding to Benvid's assertion, Jai rejects the idea as flawed thinking, saying nothing prevents Zuffa from collaborating with outside partners to arrange the bout and move it forward now. He insists that real negotiation and cooperation remain possible whenever both camps are committed, rejecting claims that avoidance is occurring in any form what. In his perspective, priority should be finalizing agreement rather than making excuses, music. as he believes matchup can be completed if genuine intent exists from all parties involved without unnecessary delays or friction overall view.
I saw David Benavidez, he said that you signing with Zuffa is a roadblock to y'all possibly fighting. Do you feel that way?
Why would that happen? Why?
I don't know, that's just how he feels. He was like, well, you know, I don't know if Zuffa's gonna work with us or whatever, so.
100%, why wouldn't they? That would be so silly not to. That's the biggest, if he wins this fight and we have a unification fight, why would anyone not have that on? Right. Why would any promoter, the only reason they wouldn't have it on is if promoters were like, no, I'm doing it, doing it. And they lose track of what the most important thing is, and that's a unification
But that
fight.
can happen though. Like
not really with Turkey.
No.
And with that, Jai goes into the specifics of his deal with Zuffa, stressing that there is absolutely nothing preventing this fight from becoming a reality. He says that internal talks have already been wrapped up and the pathway toward officially making the matchup is now wide open. Jai pushes back on any talk of restrictions, arguing that such claims are being blown out of proportion and that real movement depends purely on how committed all sides are. From his perspective, the fight is already sitting there ready to be made, and it now only comes down to finalizing the last details to bring everything over the line.
Signed the Zuffa, was that part of the conversation? I don't want any issues making fights with anybody.
100%.
Right.
100%, bro. We're here to fight the best. We're here to get undisputed. I've made that clear to everyone. Right. You know what I mean? We want to be undisputed. We want to fight for all the belts. I just feel like being undisputed in your own weight category is the goal. Yeah. You know, and once that's done, then what's next? But until that's done, I'm not.
Jai's position grows more intriguing as he continues to insist that money is not his driving force, despite already aligning himself with Zuffa. Oscar de la Hoya disputes Jai's stance, saying his view that Zuffa can cooperate with other sanctioning bodies does not align with remarks previously stated by Dana White. He warns this situation could present serious obstacles to Jai's long-term goals and future ambitions. He further adds that if Jai stays under these conditions, his dream of becoming undisputed may fade due to Zuffa's structure and rule system.
In a total contradiction, they're allowing Jai Obatai to fight for all the other belts, to fulfill his dream of becoming undisputed, which is what every fighter wants. Look at me here, I have 16 belts.
Kind of a big deal.
And I wanted more. Remember Dana said he had no intentions of working with the 4 major sanctioning bodies. And now he's changing his mind?
Dana barely ever tells the truth.
And they're allowing Obatai to be co-promoted by someone else who knows their way around boxing.
Yeah, giveaway.
This makes them nothing more than just another promoter with a made-up do.
Adding more intensity to the situation, Jose Ben Sr. makes a shocking assertion that directly contradicts Jai's claims about excuses coming from the Benvids camp. According to Jose Sr., several messages have already been delivered to Jai and his team. Still, there has been no reply whatsoever. He asks who is actually avoiding the matchup when communication has reportedly been attempted multiple times. Jose also claims that outreach was directed toward Dana White, saying the silence from that side raises questions and implies a lack of confidence about facing the Mexican monster.
Any fight could happen. Like I said, if you interview him, just ask him that for me.
I will.
Did you get reach up? How many times have they been trying to reach? No, I like to hear crickets. Nothing back, you know? So why are you talking all this and doing that, you know? Let's sit down, you know? These fights are easy to make. You know, with the Mexican monster, nothing's difficult. Nothing's like, oh, let me think about it, all this and that, you know? Everything's ready to go, brother. We're ready to go. We're ready to make fights happen. At the end of the day, you know, you're talking all this, you know, but there's no response back.
Taking the situation a step further, Jose Sr. claims that Jai is not genuinely seeking the Ben's showdown and is instead using the name of the fight as a way to draw attention. He also raises concerns about Jai's development, suggesting that if he were guiding his career, he would have pushed for more experience before putting him in with the Mexican monster. Jose Sr. goes on to downplay Jai's recent outings, describing the Brandon Glanton bout as lacking excitement. From his perspective, Jai has shown clear signs of being buzzed, losing rhythm, and slowing down as rounds progress. He even highlights moments where Jai appeared vulnerable to clean shots, arguing that those kinds of openings would be punished severely by a top-level opponent like Benvids.
He wants it, bro. You know, to be honest with you, if I was training him right now, I would tell him, you know, your time will come. You know, you don't have the experience that David has, you know. Let's work harder. Let's keep going, you know. David will stop you right now, you know. I'm not saying that he's a bad fighter. He's a really, really good fighter. But experience, bro. You know, we've seen him get his jaw broken. Every fight he fights, he gets hurt. On the last fight he fought, it was a boring fight. He couldn't even deal with somebody that was putting pressure without punches. He couldn't do anything. He got tired. You know, he looked terrible. At the end of the day, like I tell everybody, you know, he is getting better and better and better, but he couldn't do nothing with somebody that just put the body in it.
Building new revelations, boxing reporter Sean Zettel outlines his newest findings about what is unfolding behind the scenes. According to his account, he says he has received direct confirmation from both fighters' camps. And when he questioned why Jaya's team had not replied to Jose Benavidez Sr., the response suggested involvement with another party aligned with Benavidez. However, Zettel later confirmed with Jose Sr. that no formal offer had ever been sent from Jaya's camp. This raises major questions about the overall situation. Zettel further implies Jai may not fully want the Benavidez fight, particularly after earlier discussions about facing Neil McConnon in the near future of negotiations process update.
They said, well, the reason why nobody would get back to Jose is because we were told Louis DeCubas from David is the guy who handles his affairs now. Well, Jose counters that, well, even if you are going to talk to Louis DeCubas, I'm still his manager, you know, in writing, and I have to finalize anything that David's going to do.
Right.
So what I then asked was, okay, well, then did Louis DeCubas ever get an offer from Team Opataya? And I did not get a yes on that question. So I don't know if it's fair to say Benavidez is ducking Opataya when they never got an offer. And actually the fight that's been in the works for months is Noel McCaley.
Pointing to ongoing complications behind the scenes, Sean states that both fighters have effectively acknowledged that neither camp is actively avoiding the other. He pushes back against the narrative of ducking, offering a more grounded explanation of the situation. From his perspective, the misunderstanding stems from how business and matchmaking decisions are being managed while determining each fighter's next move. Rather than fear or hesitation, he suggests the delay is being driven by negotiation dynamics and scheduling factors shaping how the two sides are trying to align the fight at the right time.
Noel McCaley and Opataya had a face-off photo after the inaugural Zuffa event, or it might have been the second Zuffa show, but I think it was the first one. And then a couple weeks ago, it was being reported that McCaley and Opataya are closing in on a fight. So that's been the fight in the works for a while, not making an offer to David Benavidez to fight Opataya for the cruiserweight title. Now, they also told me, we don't think Benavidez is ducking Jai, but obviously Jai isn't. He wants to fight David. Both fighters aren't ducking each other. It's just, this is the business right now. Sean understands this even better than me.
Sharing his perspective, Ditto says Jose Benavidez Sr.'s frustration is understandable since he has not been receiving any replies recently. However, he warns that it could create a negative perception around Jai if the emerging facts prove accurate in this case. From his point of view, silence and poor communication only increase suspicion in an already very tense situation. He also notes that in boxing perception matters as much as reality, and situations like this can quickly shape how fans interpret the whole storyline.
From Jose's standpoint, the first and second options were Bivol and Beterbiev, right? But now I'm here. He believes that Bivol and Beterbiev will have a trilogy, which means Benavidez can't get either one of them. And the other people I talked to involved said they heard that Bivol and Beterbiev will stage their trilogy in Russia. And it'll be funded by the Russians, not by the Saudis, okay? Which would make sense why Bivol was fighting in Russia over the weekend.
Of course.
So if you're Jose Benavidez and you're not keen on an Opataya fight, you feel like it's not a big fight yet, because Opataya fought in front of like 800 people when he defended the lineal title against Brandon Glanton. And besides, you know, you're not getting messages returned to you.
As talks reportedly broke down, the Benavidez camp was forced to explore an alternative direction. Zettel explains that Dmitry Bivol is now being looked at as a realistic option, with even Jose Benavidez Sr. indicating that this is the most probable next step, which in turn pushes any Bivol matchup even further into the future. On Jai's side, he is said to have no interest in moving down that route, especially as no clear responses or callbacks are coming from the other end. As a result, the original fight scenario seems to be slowly slipping away. The tension increased further when a formal petition was submitted to the WBC to establish a mandatory path for Benvitz, while Neil Malignaggi could also be drawn into the situation if he decides to face Jai under the current circumstances.
Now the mandatory, and that's when he did get a call on Friday night from Mick Francis, and they had like a 12-minute convo. You know, Mick Francis saying, well, okay, when should we put this fight together? So his best move, he felt then, was to petition the WBC to mandate David for the WBC title at cruiserweight. We can't get Bivol and Beterbiev, and the Opataya fight is not the fight being made right now, and Mopataya has a fight for a few months now lined up with Michaelian anyways. Then let's just keep collecting hardware. So now Michaelian, he sounds like he will be stripped if he fights Opataya for the lineal cruiserweight title, but it won't be for the sanctioning body belts, the WBC. And
in the end, Benavidez is left weighing several major options, including Bivol, Beterbiev, and Opataya, though many observers now view Bivol as the most realistic path forward. Sean Zattel suggests that Benavidez is positioned as the fighter ready to take control of the division, even believing he has the tools to defeat Jai, Bivol, and Beterbiev in different fight scenarios. At the same time, Sean Porter argues that a clash with Beterbiev would introduce an entirely new level of danger and intensity if that matchup is made. With so many elite names in play, the division remains wide open, but also more unpredictable than ever at the very top.
Heavyweight division. I think he beats Opataya, Beterbiev, and Bivol, but it's not enough for me to just say he's got to prove it.
But with Beterbiev, there's that power that is like
41 though.
It's but it's still a machine. You know what I mean? Like the power is like it's a different. That's literal truck
for sure
type shit going in the ring with Beterbiev. So of all those guys, I kind of trust Beterbiev's power to challenge Benavidez more than anything else. Bivol has amazing skill. To me, Opataya not experienced enough.
Well, that's what Jose Sr. says, but he is the best cruiserweight in the world.
So all these twists, negotiations, and shifting directions have made one thing very clear. The Benvitz situation is nowhere near straightforward, and every camp is now holding back, waiting for the next major move that could completely reshape the division. Whether it ends up being Jai, Benvitez, Bivol, or Mellon, nothing is confirmed until the contracts are signed and the fighters are officially in the ring. And if you found this breakdown valuable, make sure to subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for more deep boxing updates and ongoing fight drama.